operating systems. There's a whole slew of them out there. Windows 7, 8, and 10. You've got a whole bunch of Linux ones, and even Mac OS X, or just Mac OS now. So sometimes it's beneficial to be able to run more than one operating system on your machine. So how do you do that? Well, you could do a dual boot, but sometimes it's even easier just to do a virtual machine. That's what we're going to be talking about coming up in this episode of TechVM. So here is Joe, our cameraman. Say hello, Joe. Mm-hmm. So what we're going to be doing today, we're going to be setting up a virtual machine on his laptop right here. So in order to do that, we are going to be using a piece of software called VirtualBox from Oracle. It's a free download. We'll put information down in the description below. So we've already gone ahead and installed it, and we're going to go ahead and open that up real quick here. And once you get in here, it's going to give you this interface right here, and it's going to give you some instructions and tell you to, basically welcome to VirtualBox and kind of give you an overview of how this software works. So over here in this white section is where all of our virtual machines are going to be once we create them. Now the great thing about VirtualBox is you can create a ton of these, and you can basically set up how much resources they're going to get based on how many resources your computer has. So the first thing we need to do is click on the new button here, and it's going to give us this window here, and it's going to ask us to please choose a description for this VirtualBox. So we could just call this one something like Windows 8. Now it's also going to ask us what the type is, so we're going to pick Microsoft Windows since we're going to be doing 8.1. And it's asking us which version here. So we want to click the drop-down box as we have the 64-bit version of Windows 8. And let's see here. So there is 8.1. And actually, it looks like this is only going to allow us to do a 32-bit installation of this, which is quite strange. I don't know why it does not give us a 64-bit option. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab our ISO image here, and we'll be right back in just a second. So if you're going to be installing Windows 8.1 or Windows 10 and you don't have the disk image or an ISO image of it, you can actually go to Microsoft's website and get the media creation tool. Now we have the one here for Windows 8.1. All you got to do is hit the big download tool now button. And once you have that downloaded, you're going to get a window that looks kind of like this, and it's going to ask you some questions about what language you want, the edition, and then the architecture as well. Now we need a 32-bit one, so now that we have all that selected, we can just click on the next option, and it's going to give us the option here to either put it on a USB flash drive or just download the ISO file, which is what we want. We'll go ahead and click next. And with any luck here, it's going to ask us now where we want to save this. We're just going to go ahead and put it on our desktop here and hit save. And now what it's going to do, it's going to contact the Microsoft servers and download the ISO file for us. So we're going to let this download, and once we have it downloaded, we'll move on to the next step. So with our Windows 8.1 ISO file downloaded, we're going to come back over here to I was going to call it VMware, which is also another option for doing virtualization, but we're going to come back over here to VirtualBox, and so we've got our window open here that says name our operating system. We're going to make sure all of our settings are correct and click on the next button. Now this right here is talking about memory. Since we have 16 gigs in our host machine here, we can go ahead and really crank this up to give it quite a bit of memory. You can always change this later, and looking at this, we got a couple colors here. You see the green, the orange, and the red. Now green is where VirtualBox is basically saying that you're pretty good within this range. The orange is saying be careful here, and the red is where it is not recommended at all. Once you have this set, you're going to click on next, And for the hard disk here, we're just going to hit the Create button down here. We're going to stay with the defaults on this screen right here. And then for the storage on the physical disk, I always like to do the dynamic option, but you can also do the fixed size as well. This is talking about the file location and size for the disk. We're just going to leave it at the defaults for 25. And once you have all that done, it's going to create your virtual machine, which is over here. And you can see the name of it, Windows 8.1. This is all the information that talks about all the things that we just set up. And if you ever want to change anything in here, you can just come over here to the settings option. So the next thing we want to do is go ahead and start this up by either double clicking right here or hitting the start button. And once you do that, it's going to load up this window. And of course, the first time you load it up, it's going to ask you to provide a startup disk. Of course, we don't have an operating system installed, so we're going to use our ISO image that we downloaded. And you can see it's already found it, and we're going to just click on the Start button right here. And failed to open a session for the virtual machine on Windows 8.1. Why it's doing this? Let's see here. BTX is disabled in the BIOS for all CPU modes. So hang on, we're going to figure out why this is not working. So we went into the BIOS on this computer and the virtualization option was actually disabled. We went ahead and re-enabled it, and we're going to see if that fixes the issue. So we've gone ahead and recreated our Windows 8.1 VM here. We're going to go ahead and double click on that to start it. And here it is right here, and it's found our ISO image. We're going to click on Start. There it goes. So if you have that issue, you're going to have to go in and turn that option on in your BIOS. How you get into the BIOS on your system, you'll have to find some information online. So from here, what it is just a standard installation of doing any operating system, basically. So we've got English here all set up with US. We're going to click on Next here, and we're going to hit Install Now. Now, here is the thing with Windows 8.1 or Windows 8 in general. It's going to ask us to put in our product key. So we're going to do that, and we're going to finish the rest of the installation process here. If you don't know how to install an operating system, there are plenty of other videos online. If you'd like us to create one, just leave a comment down in the comment section below. We'll create a video on that as well. But we're going to let this run through, and once we have everything set up, we'll be back. So here it is right here, our full installation of Windows 8.1 in a virtual environment. So this is going to act just like a real machine, as if it was installed directly on the actual system itself. The great thing about it being in a virtual environment, though, is that if it gets messed up or anything like that, it's super simple to just be able to delete it and start over again. But you can see full-fledged version of Windows 8.1 Pro right here is the version that we are using. Here's your start menu. You can install apps. You can surf the internet on this. Again, basically anything you can do on a normal computer, you're going to be able to do right here on your virtual machine. Now, this is, of course, a virtual machine, so it is going to be a little laggy at times, but the more resources that you can give the system, the better it is going to run. And the other great thing about setting up a virtual machine, especially with VirtualBox, is it's super easy. Just ask Joe right here. Yeah. So there you go. There is the installation of Windows 8.1 on a virtual machine using VirtualBox. Now, there also are a couple other pieces of software that you can use. Microsoft has one called Hyper-V. It's something that you'll have to go enable in the operating system. VMware is also an option. I do believe that they offer a free version of it. However, I do know that there is a paid version as well. The version, again, that we used is VirtualBox, totally free. The great thing is it runs on Windows, it runs on Mac, and I believe it runs on Linux as well. If you have any questions or any trouble getting anything set up, you know what to do. Leave a comment down in the section below, and we'll see if we can help you out. If you like this video, a big thumbs up rating would be awesome. It helps us out a lot. If you didn't like it, give it a thumbs down so we know what we can do better for next time. Leave a comment as well. If you like the content that we produce, make sure to subscribe to our channel for new content every single week. Until next time, my name's been Carlos. We'll see you right here on Tech Beam.